Let's piss some people off.
A lot of people think they're supported until they actually try to enjoy something without feeling guilty. If you've ever been told, go do your thing, but your mind never fully left home, this episode is for you. Because there is a difference between being allowed to grow and being trusted to grow. This we're talking about when you are in a relationship. And today, I want to talk about what real support actually feels like when you are in a true partnership, when you are building together next to someone that really cares. Hi, and welcome to I Inspire the podcast. If you're new here, hi. I'm really glad you're here. And if you've been listening for a while, thank you for staying, for listening, and for being part of these conversations with me. Before we get into today's episode, make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell button so you don't miss future episodes. And if something here resonates, share with someone you really care about. Today's episode feels really close to my heart, not heavy, just honest. The title of today's episode is When Support Feels Like Freedom, the Difference a Secure Partner Makes. So just to give you a little context, this past week I attended the Podfest Expo 2026. It was here in Florida, so I wasn't far away from home, but an hour and a half away. But I stayed away from Wednesday through Saturday night. And even though I've always received Kevin's support in different ways, this was the first time I really took time for myself to do something like what I just did. Something fully for my dreams, for my career, for the things that I'm building, for all the projects that I have going on. And I think that that's why I was able to experience this support in a new way, because I finally allowed myself to step into it. And it was not until this moment that it really clicked in my head. For the first time in a really long time, I stepped into something important for myself, because we usually do things for the both of us. And this time I didn't feel guilty. I wasn't checking my phone constantly. I wasn't wondering if someone felt neglected. I wasn't thinking about what I'd have to explain or fix when I got back home. And I caught myself thinking about this while I was away. And it wasn't until that guilt was gone that I realized how present it had always been before on other relationships. That absence made something very, very clear to me. For a long time in my life, support felt like it came with conditions, not loud ones, not obvious ones, subtle ones. It looked like managing someone else's emotions, staying emotionally available when I needed that space, making sure growth didn't feel uncomfortable to someone else. And because it was familiar, I honestly thought that that was normal. What I had experienced with my other partners, I thought that was just part of love. So even when I was doing something meaningful, part of me was always somewhere else, emotionally tethered. And I know I'm not the only one. So many people are told they're supported but still feel anxious when they pursue something for themselves. They feel guilty for enjoying opportunities that are brought to them. They feel the need to constantly check in with somebody. They feel responsible for someone else's comfort. And most of the time, it's not malicious. Sometimes it comes from insecurity. That person might think that you are going to be looking at other people, or sometimes from fear of being left, sometimes from never being taught how to love without holding tightly. But no matter the reason, it's heavy, and over time, it quietly teaches you to shrink yourself. and to feel guilty for those things that you really want. This time was different for me. Kevin, my husband, didn't just say, go do your thing. This was what was so different. He showed it with his actions. He helped me plan things. He helped me plan where I was staying. He supported the decisions I made. He encouraged me to invest in myself, in my learning. But more than anything, he trusted me. He didn't need reassurance. He didn't need constant contact throughout the day. He didn't need access to every moment I had. He respected my space. And something else happened too that I realized. Experiencing this level of support from my husband, especially in a moment that mattered so much to me, actually built a new level of respect in my heart for him. For the way he loves me, for how steady that love is, for how it doesn't ask me to shrink or choose. It led me to that feeling. That respect literally deepened something between us, which I really love. Another thing I noticed, and this feels important, is how support shows up in your body. When you're not truly supported, your body stays alert. You brace, you prepare, you rehearse conversations in your head. But when you truly are supported, your body relaxes. It's such a difference that you feel. Your breath softens, your shoulders drop. You stop holding tension you didn't even know you were carrying. It was so different because support isn't just emotional, it's also psychological and physiological. It's your nervous system finally feeling safe. Here's something I want to say gently. Support and control can look very similar on the surface. Control often disguises itself as care, as concern, as just checking in, but they feel very different inside your body. Support feels calm. Control feels tight. Support trusts, and control is constantly monitoring. A secure partner doesn't compete with your growth. You gotta understand that. They don't feel threatened by your independence. On the contrary, they're always cheering for you. They don't confuse closeness with possession. They stand beside you, not in front of you to block everything. A lot of people were never taught how to love without attachment. They were taught that love means access, that closeness means reassurance, that being needed equals being valued. But real security doesn't cling. Security allows space, and space allows for growth. And this isn't about blaming anyone, it's about awareness. It's okay to want love and peace. It's okay to want support that feels calm. It's okay to want trust. So, if there's one thing I want you to take from this conversation, is this: support without trust isn't really support. True partnership is rooted in emotional security, not control. If pursuing your growth makes you feel guilty, anxious, or emotionally responsible for someone else's comfort, that's worth paying attention to. Not with judgment, just with honesty. A supportive partner doesn't limit your world and how you operate in it. They help protect the space where you become more of yourself. And that's truly great to be a part of a relationship that is like that. If you're listening, maybe just pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I feel freer when I grow or smaller? Do I feel trusted or managed? Do I feel peace when I pursue what matters to me? You don't need to answer these right away. Just sit down with yourself and notice how you feel about them. Ask yourself these questions. They're very important for you to know if you're in a relationship. If this episode touched something in you, please share it. Send it to someone that you love. Send it to a friend. Send it to someone who might need to hear that support can feel peaceful. Thank you guys for always coming and watching me. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the bell button and stay connected with me. I know you guys could be doing anything in the world, but here you are, guys, listening to me. Thank you for sitting with me today. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Love you, bunches.
And remember, we're unfiltered, unapologetic, and unstoppable. That's that.